Okay, we are live. Welcome back, you guys. Hey, Bree, they all in the chat.
I know, almost 20 people already. My goodness. Hi, guys.
They up in there chopping it up with the conversation. They having a conversation talking about Halloween candy and everything.
See, this is why we love the Soapies. You're the beacon of light for us.
I know. All right, welcome you guys to Soap Corner Talk, where it's going to be me, T, and I got Bree, and we got a surprise for you guys in a little bit. So stick
A little
around for
something.
that. I know they'll be excited about the little surprise, right, Bree?
Yeah, a little something, a little something.
Mm-hmm. A little
All right,
something,
you guys over
something.
for the weekend.
Yep. All right. So we're going to be recapping both The Young and the Restless and The Bold and the Beautiful for the week of 10/14 through 10/18. Girl, we are like, what, less than 2 weeks away from November 1st. And November sweeps are starting in about another week and a half.
Oh, my goodness. This year really flew by.
I
Every
know.
month we keep saying, like, oh, it's a couple weeks for the next month. I'm like, my goodness. My son's birthday is in December. Oh, my goodness.
Oh my God, girl, it is crazy how time is flying. I'm looking forward to November sweeps, though. I kind of want to see how it's going to be. Last year in The Young and the Restless, we got the whole Jordan fiasco. And then on Bold, we got that horrible storyline with Eric and the coffin of blood stuff.
I kind of miss Jordan. I almost forgot about her.
Yeah, she really made November sweeps really good last year.
Yes, I'm hoping that they keep it up this November sweep. So far, the storylines is looking pretty good.
I know. So we'll see. We got Abby's wedding. I have a feeling that something bad might happen at that wedding. What do you think?
Especially with all these attendees. I didn't think that Jill was going to come, but everybody is going to this wedding, even Adam.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if this is going to go. It's too much going on in Genoa City with regards to this situation with Sharon, this whole thing with Victor trying to stir the pot with Abbott, with Jabot and with Abbott Chancellor. And I'm wondering if it's just all going to come to a head somehow and blow up in Victor's face. And I would love to see it blow up spectacularly.
I hope something happens with Victor, but right now, this man, he's playing chess, not checkers.
I
That is
agree.
for sure.
I totally agree. All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump into Y and R. And I know it was so much going on this week, and in the collage, it only give you a maximum of so many slides. And I tried to get as many as possible, even though I didn't get Diane and Jack in there, which was huge this week. And I'm like, God dog it, how did I miss it? But we know to talk about it, and we will.
Oh, we will not miss that at all.
Mm-mm. All right, so let me go ahead and read the summary, and then we will go ahead and break the storylines down for this week. So, oh, and make sure you guys hit that like button, and make sure you subscribe to the channel too. So, just in case you're some newbies, I see my regulars in here, but for the newbies, make sure that you are subscribed. And thank you guys for 12,000 subscribers too that we just hit this past week.
Yay! Thank you, Soapies.
All right. So for The Young and the Restless for the week of October 14th through October 18th, Jill vows to stop Billy after a call from Lily. Oh, let me see. Make sure. Is that the... Yeah. Okay. Jill vows to stop Billy after a call from Lily, and Victor taunts Diane after her marriage about her marriage and company falling apart. Chance finds Heather's phone and bloody towels at Daniel's, and Jill orders Billy to clean up his mess or he's fired. Chance finds evidence that incriminates Daniel. Audra betrays Victor to Jack, and Billy try to fire Phyllis. After accusing Victor of corrupting his son, Jack has a public blowout with Diane, and Lucy is told someone is framing Daniel. And last but not least, Phyllis realizes that Sharon could have unalived Heather and brings up her past misdeeds, which leads her to flash back to 30 years where we had the 30th anniversary of the Phyllis Summers character.
It was a great episode. I really liked it.
All righty. Where you want to... Hey, Jay Money in the chat. Hey, Jay.
Hey, Jay.
He said... Go ahead.
No, so we know exactly what he want to talk about.
Girl. He started all that drama last week. That call went off the rails last week, but we had fun.
Yes, it was. Oh my goodness! Could you imagine Jay Money jumped on that call?
Listen, we was using all kind of acronyms and things, and I'm like, oh my god! And one of them y'all had to explain to me. But
it was a teachable moment.
Yeah,
it was a teachable moment.
Oh,
but now God. You know.
Now I know. And then Jay messaged me talking about, I can't believe you didn't know what that was. Oh my God. Jay is hilarious. That's why we love Jay over here. He said he's on his best behavior tonight.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, we'll take the word. We'll believe you. Sure we will. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, girl.
Sure we want to bold. We need to see what happens when he goes to bold.
Right. All right, where you want to start, girl?
Oh my goodness. I don't even know where to begin. I guess we can start with Lily and Jill. I think she was at Monday's episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lily, Jill, Billy. I think they were Monday's episode, right?
Well, it comes off of that, was it Friday or whatever, because of the fact that, she got played last week.
Oh, yeah.
And then she decides she wanted to figure out another way to take down Billy, which is to go to his mama.
And that's right. And she left out all these important details about what she was doing for the company.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, she's just trying to get any position at this point with Chancellor. She just got to come to grips. It's not going to be the top position. And I'm glad that Nikki let that be known on Monday's episode.
Yeah.
But but this was, what is going on with this girl? She's not even part of that family, but she's fighting for like a top position at this family company. And she really thought going to Jill was going to benefit her. Jill is not going to turn away from her son, because if that were the case, she would have fired her son.
Mm-hmm.
Based off of what Lily had told her. Mm-hmm. All Jill said was just clean up your mess, get rid of Phyllis, which boo writers for that.
Right.
But just clean up your mess, and if you don't do as I say, then I fire you. So she's still, helping out her son at the end of the day.
Exactly.
She's listening to Lily, but it's not enough for her to fire Billy and put Lily in that top level position.
My thing is, I still don't understand why she's fighting so hard for this. I mean, granted, she felt happy that she got the CEO top spot at Chancellor. Jill gave it to her. There's been some hiccups and bumps during, this whole process. She was the one that wanted to merge the companies with Hamilton Winters. That went left. Jill felt that she was outnumbered because Lily bought over Hamilton Winters. And then this is where all this mess started from. And so the fact of the matter is, I think Jill would have had a different tune if it had got found out by Jill, which I did not like the fact that Billy didn't say anything. All he said is, Lily betrayed me. Okay, would you tell your mama that this girl also was using Victor to stick it to you guys?
Right.
That way she would
Exactly.
have been done with Lily.
Possibly. I would say possibly because I don't know. Jill just makes some weird off the wall decisions. But I do agree with you. He needed to say something. How did she betray her? Go into details. But it
Mm-hmm.
felt like he was even trying to protect Lily. And I'm like, why?
Exactly.
She's not trying to protect you, sir. If anything, she's really trying to make you look foolish on top of Victor already trying to make you look foolish.
Right.
And I appreciate the Vaughn on Monday's episode. Vicky says she already watched it with some dinner this evening. And so Vicky's seen the delusion coming out of coming out of Lily's mouth. And for whatever reason, she's still going to be part of this Chancellor dynasty, and we'll never understand it.
Yeah, I don't understand what I don't get it. My thing is most people want to build up the legacy for their family, which is one
Mm-hmm.
reason, which we got to talk about Jack, that he's hoping that he could have had Diane and his son all working at Jabot, which is why Victor is always trying to rally his family over working at Newman because it's called generational wealth.
Yeah, it's you would think that as much as she brought up Neil, or actually as much as Victor and Nikki brought up Neil,
Mm-hmm.
it didn't trigger anything in her head. Like, you know what? Wow, my dad, he is a talented man. He did create a company. Maybe I should go work over there with them. But she wants to work for people.
Yeah, I don't, and that's the thing. I don't understand between her and Audra because her and Audra was in the same boat. It's like y'all do realize the difference between ownership and being employed.
Apparently not.
Apparently not. I mean, and I think this came up on Monday, and I don't want to spoil it for a lot of folks that haven't seen it. But even if, just say Lily, even if she does go back over at Chancellor, she's never going to own that company.
Right.
You just giving
Or the CEO.
you just trading in time for money. There's no legacy that you can pass down from that. That company, if something happens, just say Billy stopped working there, right?
Mm.
Guess who get that inheritance? Not you.
Nope. It's going to be Chance. It's going to be probably Philip. Who all's part of the Chancellor dynasty. It's definitely not her. She's not even on the list.
Mm-mm. I don't understand this whole energy for her to just, she do not want to work with her brother and her cousin. They have a whole company sitting over there that she could probably have some type of C-suite level or become co-CEO over there. She don't want it. She don't want it.
Mm-mm. No, that's just so. I mean, it's the same position, just at a different company. She could be with her family, not to worry about someone undermining her or like her losing her position, unless she really chooses to cause herself to get fired. Other than that, outside of that, everything is subject to change around her, including her employment.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't understand. I mean, and Jan, to answer your question, when she was talking with Jill, she said, "Oh, how's your health?" And yeah, it's fine. And then she went right into whining.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's not going to pay off for her. Jill is not going to fire her son. Jill even said, "I was hoping you come to your senses, Billy, and work with her." Like there's nothing when Jill speaks to Billy or Lily that she wants to get rid of her son. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Or have her son work up underneath somebody. There's no discussion in regards to that. She just wants him to work with somebody but
Mm-hmm.
he was going to always take that high level position. So that whining, she's like, what was that for? You could have been working with your brother.
Yeah, I don't. She's not going to win this at the end. Even if she does get a couple years there or whatever. Why would you even want to put yourself in the middle of a fight? Not only you got to figure out how to deal with Billy, but Victor and Nikki is still coming after that company too.
And they were extra confident about that on Monday's episode.
I mean, and just like, girl, and you know what? I'm gonna stay away from Monday because we talking about Monday like it was part of this
Yeah,
week.
yeah. I know. Lily's been taking over Mondays the past couple of weeks, so we apologize.
Right. But you know what? I'm just going to just wait and sit back. Who knows? Maybe they'll have a flip for her or something down the road. But it's to me, it's just way too much energy to be putting to get back into a company that is not extending your legacy. I just
Yeah.
I would be like, girl, bye, bye. Um, okay, so now let's switch over to Audra because Audra decided that she's gonna break her NDA and tell Jack about what's going on over at Newman and Glissade and Kyle and Victor, thinking that Jack was just going to be like, okay, yeah, let's do this. Quid pro quo. I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine. Well, she definitely was disappointed.
She thought that arrangement that she had with Tucker would translate over to Jack, and he shut that down.
Real quick.
Because she and Tucker, they would scratch each other's back, front, everything.
Mm-hmm.
So we know her train of mind, but she already broke that NDA. Mm-hmm. When she told Sally, when she told Nate, that she already broke that NDA. She knew she doesn't care about a contract like that. She for her to say like, I risk my contract. I risked, a lawsuit to tell you this information. And I love Jack. He was like, look, you chose to say this.
Right.
I didn't force this out of you. You told me this.
You chose to do that, ma'am. So don't try to guilt trip me. That's exact. She tried to make him feel guilty.
Yeah, and then try to throw Kyle in the mix and saying like, oh, he's not loyal to you. Something told me with her sharing that information that she was going to try to weasel her way in or try to be in his good graces just in case she needs to apply for Jabel.
Right.
But so what was her end goal with telling Jack that? Did she say that she wanted him to buy out Victor or something?
So what she wanted was to be an ally and figure out a way for having Jack to help her get that company. And one way is that she said that she knew the ins and outs of Glissade because she was the one that, helped Tucker build it and built it before she sold it off to Victor. So it's because she know a lot about the company and the intricacies of it. She figured that maybe he would help her some kind of way get the company back and get Kyle out so he can go back to Jabot with his dad. And Jack was like, thanks, but no thanks.
Right. It's... Once again, it's just stupid. You could have had a whole company. We keep saying this every week. She could have had a whole company to herself. Mm-hmm. We feel that maybe the writers might put something in, the script for her, and where she comes to grips and realize, oh, I was stupid for this decision. Tucker really wanted me to have this company. I would not be having these issues.
Mm-hmm.
But here we are.
Yep, here we are.
We get it. We get it, but for whatever reason, still to this day, she doesn't get it.
Now, I gotta say, I can see a little bit why Audra would want that company back. I would see that because obviously she feels that she made a stupid move. I mean, she built it, she created it, helped, of course, Tucker had a hand in it, it was almost hers until she decided to stupidly not take it from Tucker. I can see why maybe she would want to fight for it, but Lily, no. Mm-mm. That
Yeah.
that company was a success well before Lily got there.
She, yeah, before she was born, actually.
Exactly.
While she's talking about, like, I've made it the success that it's always been. Like, excuse you? So you're just going to disrespect Catherine while you're trying to say you're trying to help her legacy? She
Right.
didn't need you.
Right. Girl. Yeah, so I can, like I said, I can understand maybe just a 3% of me can understand why Audra might want to fight for that company. But Lily need to go take several seats.
Yeah, I guess I can kind of see that too. And I will say Audra was a little bit smarter that when she was working with Facade, she got something in contract.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So her contracts or work perfectly fine with Victor, but for whatever reason, Lily just going based off of assumptions.
Girl.
The Monday episode is really telling.
Yes, it is. So you guys, if you have watched it, you kind of know what we're talking about with Lily on Monday. If you have not, you'll get a chance to check it out, or you can check it out early online because it is Lily Pooh. Jasmine said Lily Pooh needs to go home.
She needs something, a man, anything, just something to knock some sense into her. She just, oh my goodness, she going based off of a lot of assumptions.
I agree. What else? What else? We gotta talk about Jack, Kyle, and that whole fiasco. They got into a whole Diane. Oh my gosh. Now, when I did my midweek chat, I think it was not midweek, midday chat on either Wednesday or Thursday. You know, there were some folks in the chat saying that Diane is setting this up. Do you think this is a setup?
Yes. I think we did talk about it. Actually, no, it was Wednesday's midday chat, I believe, or Thursdays. But I think you asked, like, do you think Jack and Diane are part of it? And do you think Diane was working alone? I think she's working alone.
Okay.
And that's just based off of, like, Jack's dialogue particularly. I don't think that he has any clue what she's trying to do, but she's made it abundantly clear that she wants Kyle to learn a lesson and to pay for what he's doing. And there was something that she said, I think it was like Thursday's episode when she went to GCAC. She told Kyle, and he was like, I'm the only one who cares about Jabot than anyone right now. So it makes me wonder if she's going to try to make a power play, if anything, over on Jabot.
Well, she's about to get kicked out the house next week. So, I don't know if she expected that. Because, I mean, it's one thing to set your kid up to try to prove something. But to literally destroy your own relationship, make that whole scene, and then end up getting kicked out the house. I don't know how that's going to work in your favor. Now, she might, I don't know how they're going to do this. But the thing is, if in fact they're not staging this, or she's not staging this, Diane, what she said about her son, I don't know if I ever want a relationship with him again. I'm like, yeah, okay, it's a wrap. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Nah,
that's so disrespectful.
Who?
Diane was so disrespectful for even saying that. But whether it's set up or not, don't ever utter those words, because those words will come back to bite you. And it's just, that's why I feel like she's working alone. Because just Jack's reaction and Kyle's reaction, like, you can tell it cut them deep. And if this was a plan, I feel, for one, Jack wouldn't be kicking his wife out. And two, Jack would have also made more of a scene. I don't know. This was so disrespectful. I hated the fact that she even said that.
And
And
there's a lot of people in the chat that was saying that she was right, but I can't. It's one thing if you are disappointed by the actions or the behavior, but to say I don't think I ever want another, I was like, oh no.
that was so disrespectful. Now, granted, this is what I'll say. Kyle does deserve to learn a lesson.
Correct.
He committed a crime.
Correct.
He has to learn from that. Because if it was another company, it would be considered corporate espionage. He would have faced the consequences for that. But on the personal side, on the family side, she did not need to say that. She could have let legal and whoever handle it, the authorities or whatever handle that for Jabot. But she is Harrison's grandmother.
Exactly.
That is still her son.
Exactly.
Like she wants to sever those ties. I don't get that.
Yeah. If it's not staged. If it's not staged, for her to say that, like you just said, and like you just brought up being Harrison's grandmother.
Yeah.
I couldn't, that I was like, oh girl, please, bye. As they said, girl, bye.
Yeah,
And wait a minute, correct me on this, because I thought, and I've heard from other sources, but I thought Diane was only gone for decades. For what I understand, she was gone for 2 decades.
Yeah.
So that's probably why it would have been easy for her to say that. Anytime that you've been away from someone or somebody for 20 years, there's a disconnect there.
Yeah, and if anything, she has 20 years worth of love and affection she had to make up for her son. And she's only been back, a short period of time, a couple years?
Yeah.
And not to say he doesn't deserve to learn his lesson. I'm trying to make that very clear. But as his mother, especially as one who left him by choice, she did not need to say that.
Right.
It's just heartless and inhumane, really. Like your son already feels like he was abandoned by his mother. Well, he was abandoned by his mother.
But did you see what Frenchie said it in the chat? She said, what do you expect from a woman who abandoned her own son?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why she's working alone.
Hey, Jenna. And listen, she talking about that's not the son that I raised. And Jack said, until you didn't. I was like, yes.
Yep. Facts. It was like all he did was state facts to her. And then she had nerve to be like, how dare you say that? Like, that's so hurtful. It's the truth. You can't just go just saying all those things.
That's what he said too. He was like, in so many words, did I stutter? No lies detected. You left.
Yeah. And that's why I feel that Jack is not a part of that. I don't think he would have remotely said any of that. And if they were if they were staging this together, he would have brought up something completely different. And on top of that, when we saw the previews for next week, he wouldn't have kicked his wife out.
Right. Now, here's the crazy thing. Spoiler alert. Victor is going to try to recruit Diane.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time.
I mean, he is really, and you know what? Because we can say this even though, we did see this week with that whole confrontation between Victor and Jack. And you see how Victor, when Jack confronted him, so let's take it to the Jazz Lounge. So Jack confronted Victor and said, I know what you're doing. You did this, you did that. And Victor played, I don't know what you're talking about. Jack, do you need some help? I don't know about you these days. You've been acting out of character. The moment Jack said, this is about Nikki, did you see how quickly he was triggered?
Oh, like an emotional human being, yes. Oh, yeah. That's, you don't say that to Victor.
Girl.
If anything, that fueled his fiery. But it was the truth, though.
It was the truth. And did you see how triggered Victor was when he had that conversation with Adam on Monday about Nikki and that situation? I'm like, he is really insecure. This powerful man was that insecure about the fact that Jack was the man that was able to save Nikki in her sobriety.
Yeah. And wants to cause all this anarchy, going after his brother, utilizing his son, and now trying to help break up the marriage, even though Diane's kind of working alone, and then trying to attack Jabel. It was like all because Nikki chose Jack to enable her addiction, and he helped save her.
And then he creates narratives around that, talking about how she was the one that almost unalived in that hotel room. No, she was drunk. He was almost out of here, meaning Jack.
Exactly. That it's... I don't understand why these people want to work and be up under Victor so badly. This is the last thing a person should do, is be underneath this emotional man. He is emotional than anybody that I've seen on Daytime.
Yeah, I mean, it's for somebody that got all the money in the world, have all this power, you get insecure about. And the thing is, part of this is his fault. If we go all the way back to early this year, you had all the alcohol bottles around the house. You let Nikki manipulate both you and Jack. I need to do this because that'll keep me from drinking if I hang around Jack, and you got to do this. And what did Victor do? All right, okay, well, you let it happen.
Yeah.
You better be mad at yourself.
But instead, he feels going after Jack would satisfy his vengeance, and it's so misplaced. And I could understand any normal human being, any normal man, let me say that, not wanting another man circling around his wife. Nikki kept talking about, like, well, no one's going to decide who I have in my life, and I want Jack as my friend, and he's going to help me, and I want him to be my sponsor. She kept telling Victor, I still want him to be my sponsor, even after that incident. But the issue was Nikki.
Exactly. And Jenna said something very interesting in the chat. She said Diane hasn't recovered from Jack doing that with Nikki either.
I mean,
she was pissed. She was pissed. Now, could that be a little bit of why she's acting out as well? That could still be bothering her up underneath.
But I thought they had like their anniversary. She says she forgave him. Like, I don't know. I feel like that would have still lingered, especially with Diane. But I mean, that could also very well be true.
Well, here's the thing, Bree, is that sometimes what folks do, they'll bury things, and then when they get mad, they'll restack that old stuff on top of stuff and bring it back up.
That's true. She is the type to do that.
And she would be the type to do that. She'd be like, oh, yeah, we're good, we're fine. And then the next time she get mad, oh, yeah, see, remember what you did with Nikki? Or I can't stand him. See, he do stuff like that. And then he also made me mad with this whole Nikki thing in the hotel suite. I don't think she forgot about it. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was a good performance. DeJuan said it was a great performance by Diane and Jack at the, it was great.
Yeah, great acting. Jay Money said, for the very reason y'all said you don't think Jack and Diane are staging it, I think they may be. If you're going to stage something, you have to do everything it takes to make it look real. Very true. I agree with that. But at the same token, what we saw in next week's previews, you would not be kicking your wife out the house. I feel that Diane is working alone because she's trying to prove a point, whereas Jack, he wants to help his son.
Do you think that maybe Jack should have made Diane step down a long time ago?
He should have never hired her in that position to begin with.
Right.
She was not qualified for it. He wanted it.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Jenna said that we're forgetting that Diane is in cahoots with somebody.
Who?
Yeah, that's why I'm like, who?
Because for a long while we were thinking it was Tucker, which
Right.
it very well could be.
We'll see, girl. All I know is that Jack was handing Diane the business, and I was like, and here go Victor, because Claire came up there, and Claire was like, "Oh, what's going on, Grandpa?" And he said something very interesting, and I love it.
Claire need to mind her business.
Claire need to get out of the middle of that. I agree with her parents.
Yeah, she acting like a little girl still. Like, I don't like when people are fighting. I feel people can change. Your granddaddy and Jack are not going to change. They got several decades on her. When is the change supposed to happen? When?
Right. She's saying, well, if I can change, anybody can. That don't apply to your grandfather.
At all.
That man is 80-some years old. He ain't changed by now. He ain't changing.
No. He likes who he is. He loves who he is, if anything.
Exactly.
And her mama was trying to warn her, like, look, he loves us, but, you don't want to get on his bad side. She said that. I was trying to paraphrase what she was saying, but I wish that Tori was saying, like, hey, I love your grandfather, but the same man who put me in jail. Like, she should have ran down all the things that Victor's done. But I don't know, maybe she wants Claire to learn on her own.
Yeah.
Which she would.
Yeah. You know what else we got to talk about the rest of this week is this whole thing with Chance and Daniel and Sharon.
And Phyllis. I hate this so much for Daniel. I was wondering, like, I don't like the fact that he made himself look suspicious about, like, Chance searching the place. I get his perspective, I do, but at the same time, just cooperate so you won't, like, put a target on your back. But I was hoping that Chance would have some common sense that if Daniel were to unalive Heather, why would he leave the evidence in there? So nothing like tips him off, like, okay, maybe Daniel didn't do this. Who would try to set him up? Like, why wouldn't that trigger him versus, your brother needs, he was telling Summer, your brother needs to get a lawyer. And I'm like, so you think he did this?
So have you ever watched True TV?
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes they have a show called The World's Dumbest Criminals. There are some people that is not smart enough to just think I'll just hide it anywhere. And so, I mean, I can see the police actually running into people who think that they would be smart enough to put the evidence outside of the house, but they left it inside of the house. So it's not far-fetched that maybe somebody was trying to do something hastily thinking nobody will find it. Now, I agree with you. It normally wouldn't make sense that if you commit a crime, you don't want to leave evidence in your own house. But
Yeah, in the dining room of all places, including the cell phone. Like, why would he have the cell phone be on, and there's still alerts going to the phone? Like, why would, for one, why would he go to chance about, like, hey, like, I got a text message, someone has Heather's phone? Like, why would he draw attention to himself?
well, the thing is, there's alibis out here. And Sharon is going to be backed in a corner according to the spoilers next week. So I don't think this is going to play out too long next week. I know we got the previews with him talking to his dad Danny, and he said that they might be taking him in and get a knock at the door and all this because they found a piece of paper, a drawing at the house or something that was also found. So, but as you get later into the week, I honestly believe that, Sharon is going to be scrambling pretty soon. Now, my thing is, I'm still stuck on Sharon blacking out. Why would they do that?
I don't know. November sweeps is coming. We might get an interesting twist, but they're not even hinting about that at all. So I'm wondering if they're still trying to work on Sharon's exit plan.
Mm-hmm.
And by exit, I mean trying to clear her name, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. They're definitely going to make it really interesting, especially since we now got Phyllis involved, and Phyllis is not going to be back down at all. So I wouldn't put it past Phyllis to find out, and then Sharon trying to take out Phyllis. I mean, anything's possible. Anything's possible.
Yeah, because it just doesn't make sense. Why was she blacked out after all of that? Now, I mean, she could have had a psychotic break or something like that, but I don't know. That whole thing is just weird to me.
She blacked out and
went to sleep on the couch.
Right.
That don't make sense to me. I mean, if you just unalive somebody, you don't go and say, I'm going to go lay on the couch of the person that I just, in their own house. I mean, at that point, Daniel could have just walked in the door, saw Heather on the floor, and Sharon sleeping on the couch.
Right. And Jenna, thank you for pointing that out. She may not have done it, but she did the cover up. That's still a felony. Absolutely. And she also had intent to unalive Daniel when she walked into that house.
They got to find the poison, though. No, I don't see. The thing is, the only way they can find the intent on that is if they find the poison.
And it makes me wonder whatever happened to that bag, and I wonder if all that's still in Sharon's car. There has to be some evidence that would lead to Sharon's car. And I think that's going to be the key thing. But she still had intent to unalive. And what irks me, and I think someone said it, like, where are the cameras? Where are the cameras?
Yeah, well, there should have been some cameras to see Phyllis fall down the same stairs that she drug Heather down. So I don't know if y'all noticed that, but them stairs that that Phyllis fell down that we saw a flashback of years ago was the same stairs that Sharon dragged Heather down. So I just thought
that was a really good episode.
It was. I loved it. Yeah, but I'm wondering how would they explain either if she is 100% guilty, then she's going to be gone for a while. Whether she goes away like Ashley for counseling for 7-8 months and then come back with a new storyline or something, I don't know. But if she didn't, and that blackout was a way to bring in a twist, they still have to, like you guys are saying, explain the other parts that she did do, which was to throw the body in the river. Even if she didn't take the life, you still took a body and threw it in the river.
Right. Mm-hmm. And the evidence is probably still on her clothes. Like, And then she went as far as to like put a block or something on the phone, and also try to incriminate Daniel with that text message. Like, there's so many levels to what she did
Right.
that it's going to be hard for her to play unfortunately, the mental illness thing. Like, she should not go to Fairview for that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but right, in the real world, but I'm wondering if being that she's a legacy character, what are they going to do? At least with Eileen Davidson, we knew that she pops in and out. She's not a steady character, right? What are you going to do with the Sharon character if you write her in a corner like this?
But at the same time, there's like other characters who had to who went to jail. Everybody that went to jail on this show, except for Harrison and maybe Johnny and Katie at this point. But I don't think it would be a bad thing for them to send Sharon to jail and then say like, "Oh, we found this evidence," but she definitely needs to pay for her crime because Daniel did not deserve this. Lucy didn't deserve
this. Let's let Victor pay for all of his first, so that would be nice. Because Victor got a bunch of them he got away with, including having Jordan in that basement. So.
And Michael is still months later trying to get his job position for helping him out.
Oh my God, Michael. Oh, Michael.
We can't forget that. I can't. How long has she been in custody? We said this back in November last year, November to January, something like that.
Who? Jordan?
Yeah.
Well, you talking about how long was she in the basement, or you mean custody? How?
Like, when was she gone? When did she go to police custody after Cole and Michael was trying to save Victor?
That was in the spring of this year because she had went to prison and burnt the prison down to get out after the November sweeps. And then she came back to town somewhere around March, right when Nikki was going through her alcoholism because she was the one that unalived Seth.
Right. Okay, that was back in March then.
Yeah.
So from March to now, this man is still trying to get up underneath Victor and get his job back.
Right. Girl.
Oh. I've never seen so much begging.
Girl, you know how we be calling for men simps, right? Well, he be simping for Victor.
The payments must be nice. The I don't know. It has to be the money at this point. I can't think of anything else.
I guess, girl. I'm like, man, he looks pathetic. There's no reason that Michael, as a person who turned his life around, went to law school, became an attorney, married to Lauren Fenmore, who has one of the biggest fashion houses in the world, and you begging for Victor's attention?
Yeah, and they're not hurting for any money because this man got $1 million each year to be Victor's attorney. So retire. I don't know what it is with Victor. I don't know, like some type of kryptonite or something.
Girl, who knows? And somebody was asking if Michael represents Daniel. It looked like it's going to be Cricket, according to the spoilers next week.
I was surprised by that. But, I mean, I guess, I was hoping it would be Michael who gives him something to do. And plus, that's Phyllis's best friend of all people. But Cricket, I can understand that. Won't be Paul who's going to help out with this investigation.
So Gail Lewis says nobody mentioned Heather's mom, April. I remember she was in prison for unaliving her abusive husband. She would be devastated when she finds out that Heather is gone.
She would be. But unfortunately, the writers didn't even care to bring that up.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Or has his other sibling, which is Dylan.
Mm-hmm. It would be nice if they did give it a twist, though, to throw Sheila in the mix somehow, or Daisy, or somebody, in the mix to, really throw everybody off the track. Because right now, it seems that it's all Sharon that took her out. Even though she did all of the other aesthetics with the towels and the body in the river stuff. Who took out Heather is the question. Did Sharon actually do that? Because all we know, somebody could have knocked her out, and that's why she was on that couch.
That's a really good point, because Heather, before Sharon blacked out, she was on her back.
And she was alive.
Right. And then when Sharon was on the couch, Heather was on her stomach.
Right. Oh, good point.
I don't know what they gonna do, but for November sweeps, I'm looking forward to it. Something's about to come out. Mm-hmm. And then we're also gonna find out that Alan is really Martin.
Girl, I hope not. I feel bad for Tracy.
I do too. I'm rooting for it, but at the same time, this is Martin, y'all. There's just no, and I feel that when Ashley comes back, she's going to point that out, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed she comes back with Tucker.
That would be a twist, huh? Most definitely.
I miss Trevor St. John.
Yeah, I do too. I like Trevor. He was funny.
Yeah.
And then of course to end off the week we had the 30th anniversary, and I know you say you like the flashbacks. It
reminded me of why I love Phyllis. I enjoyed every ounce of this, and I'm like, I was surprised that Lucy didn't know any of this information. Well, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but she was like, "Oh, I'm 16," which I'm like. So they did a complete age jump with that girl. She went from 14 to 16 real quick.
So I guess I'm not the only one. We talked about that earlier today. How did you jump her from 14 to 16?
Right. Because she was 14 back in...
earlier this year.
The summer.
Girl. And I'm like 16. She said, I'm 16 years old. I'm like, when?
Yeah, they thought we were stupid not going to notice that. But she's 16, I guess. So she's older than Johnny and Katie, I guess, now too. But I was happy for the flashbacks. I was happy to see the flashback of Nick when he was really flying. Mm-hmm. That she brought out the finest out of that man. She really did. And I don't know, the way that she was talking about Jack. Mm-hmm. First of all, I laughed, but she said, "Oh, he wasn't even my type." I was like, "Jeez." But the way she was talking about Jack towards the end, it makes me wonder if they're going to end up putting those two back together down the line.
I hope not. I just want Phyllis to work with Billy. I just want Phyllis to work with Billy.
But she gotta have some love and some romance too.
Girl, ain't nobody. If we ain't getting it on the screen, what love and romance? What you talking about?
But I'm talking about, but give her a love interest. If she wants, like, the way it came off to me, it seems like she had some residual feelings for Jack. And since, Diane and Jack are having their issues, it wouldn't surprise me if Phyllis sort of slipped in and, I don't know, maybe console Jack. I don't know. I didn't mind Jack and Phyllis together, personally.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. Well, Nick is free right now, and so is Jack. Look like he's about to be.
Yeah.
Jack Jack kicked Diane out the house next week. That's gonna be interesting. I want to see how that unfold. But go ahead.
It's gonna unfold with his bank account, since he didn't sign no prenup.
Well, that's on Jack. He went in and dive nose first into this relationship, and she kept 1,000 secrets. Every time you looked up, there's more. Oh, wait a minute, I forgot about this. There's another secret.
Oh, Jay Money said, Bree, I felt the same way. I totally felt like Phyllis was pining for Jack a little bit at the end, and it seemed like she might get back with him. Yeah, exactly. It just, the way that she was talking about him versus Nick, it seems like it's a possibility. I'm okay with that. I like them together.
Well, one thing Phyllis did do, she put the dots together and said Sharon did it.
Yeah, she is Columbo. She knows who did it, but she has to put the pieces together on how she did it. I appreciated that aspect of it, but it seems like she's the only one with some common sense. And that's the only thing that kind of irks me with Chance a little bit. But like you guys were saying, he's the good-looking chief baker. And I'm really hoping that that Phyllis puts the pieces together to save her son, because I feel Daniel doesn't deserve any of those at all.
Well, she did say that she was going to be discreet and sneak around and try to put the pieces together. So you know how sneaky Phyllis can be.
I hope so. I'm glad that they're, not walking on eggshells with Lucy. They're letting her know. I really appreciated that. So there's no surprises. I'm glad that the whole family understands what needs to happen. And they're like, okay, Mom, you're going to do what you're going to do. And I cannot wait to see Phyllis do her work. Because the way she's going to get Sharon, ooh-wee.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then what Nick's going to say. Nick can't save the day at that point.
Nope. Not at all. All right. Did we cover everything this week?
I think we did.
I think so. Let me check.
Can I applaud Phyllis for being a grandmother?
Like, you're so funny.
We get one episode, but she became a grandmother today. The girl even called her granny. I appreciated that. Day one, she decided to be Lucy's grandmother, so I want to give her props for that.
Yeah, because she was Team Harrison for a very long time.
I mean, look at the bottom right corner. She's hugging her granddaughter. She's acknowledging she has one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly, Belinda. Clap.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm like, oh, come here. Let me give you... Now, I got to say, before we move on, do you think it was a little bit TMI to tell certain parts of that story to Lucy?
I guess not. I mean...
No, in your opinion, was it...
I mean, in all honesty, no, because I feel like a lot of these teenagers, they know a lot of stuff anyway, and it better come from Phyllis and secondhand information from somebody else. That's just how I feel. Mm-hmm. But I don't think she said anything that was too racy. I think she just focused on, a small portion of her crimes and a couple of the men in her love life. I don't think it was too bad.
No, okay, because she was going into those details about around Summer's birth and how she was sleeping, going back and forth between Jack and Nick and didn't know who the father was and all that. I'm like, okay, if you want to share that.
That really wouldn't surprise Lucy. I mean, she knew how her mom and her dad got back together when he was with Lily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe I come from a time era you stay out of grown folks' business. But
Phyllis volunteered that information, though.
So, all right. Let us move on to Bold. How many people we got in the chat?
We got 122 in the chat. We got 55 likes.
Alrighty. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Let's see if we can get it up to 75 likes. We really appreciate it. And make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, and also that you follow on other platforms such as IG and the Facebook group, Threads, X, TikTok. I've been posting a few reels this week, and creatively, that is. So, yeah, make sure you follow those other platforms if you have not. Alrighty. Let's jump into Bold and the Beautiful for the week of the 14th through the 18th. After watching Taylor straddle Ridge, Brooke storms in and refuses to believe that Taylor is not manipulating her man. Brooke demands to know what Taylor's intentions and warns her away from Ridge, while Taylor tells Steffy that she thought she was dying. Liam kisses Hope. Brooke forces Ridge to tell her all about that whole position and then attempts it. Carter throws all he can into rescuing Hope for the future, and Bill laughs when he learns that Will is working at Forrester for the girls. And Carter takes Hope to his candlelit place to make out, while Will urges Liam to act fast to get her back.
Oh,
where you want to start? Let's deal with Taylor. You know what? Because that was at the beginning of the week. This whole Brooke Taylor and Ridge thing.
Oh yeah, Victoria. That's a weighted question. I think. But yes, not Victoria. Taylor and Ridge and this compromising position that Brooke saw them in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what woman would be okay with this. Like, I understand Brooke being I do get that. Taylor should not be straddled around her problem, because Ridge is the problem for her heartbreak.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a lot of sensitive areas, right? The pelvis to pelvis is a very sensitive, very intimate thing to do. I don't see how this helped her, and she had a whole breakthrough from that.
Mm-hmm. And now she's okay to tell the world.
She's cured all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. Wasn't it just like 2 weeks ago she want to believe Dr. Buckingham and that she was crazy and like, I don't have broken heart syndrome. Like, I trust the doctors over in Monte Carlo who didn't run any labs or any testing or anything like that. But now that Ridge is involved, he helped cure her.
So Jasmine says, how is straddling the man who gave you a broken heart? Wait a minute. How is straddling the man who gave you a broken heart syndrome a good thing? Yeah, he helped with other pulsations in her body, which I guess, yeah. So I guess he was a reminder that she needed to get herself some. So. And another thing too, he knows he has another woman, but he had no problem volunteering to be in those compromising positions. Mm-hmm. Yeah, talking about compromising positions. I mean, you can't tell me that she didn't get, or he didn't get some type of rise out of that. I mean, come on. Interesting
terminology right there. Rise.
A rise, like, yeah.
How could he not feel anything? But he was able to feel something when he got with Brooke.
Hey, look at Jan's comment. Jan says, the most ill moment for me was Brooke saying, you did something for Taylor you never did with me. How much detail does she go into?
You know, this right here proves Brooke's insecurity. She acts like she ain't never, ever been in that position before. It doesn't even have to be with Ridge. She's been in those positions before. So she's not missing out on anything. It's just the fact that Ridge and Taylor just had their clothes on. And now she's feeling like she missed out on something.
Yeah, and then when she was sitting on top of Ridge in the bed in that position, she was like, "Does it feel better with me than it does with Taylor?" I'm like, "Why are you thinking about that? You in a whole competition in your own bedroom with your man."
Right. And she just had to be in that position so she can say that she did it with Ridge too. Like, just insecure as ever.
But she says she
But
isn't.
when? No, I know she said it, but like when was the day she wasn't insecure? I would like for them to pinpoint that for me.
Yeah, that whole thing was ridiculous. And at least if you're going to let the girl sit on the man's lap, give us some romance out of that or something. I
That was
know,
probably going to be the only major love scene.
girl, they better not leave us hanging. And we're going to talk about Carter and Hope later, but Monday better be good.
You think something's really going to happen on Monday?
What?
You think there's really going to be a love scene on Monday?
Girl, I said I'm hoping. All I got
I
is
think
hope.
I think they've done a really great job with teasing. Same way they tease like Steffi and Finn earlier this week in his office. He's taking his shirt off for no reason. We can get no love scene. She didn't want to get it in the office, try to be spontaneous and mix it up. She just like they are just teasing us at this point when it comes to love scenes. They're not trying to give us anything to sink our teeth in.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I have hope.
I don't
Believe it
know.
or not, Jay Money, I have hope that they have a love scene.
Yeah, we'll get to that one because I got several things. Oops, I got several things to talk about with that whole thing, and I kind of touched on it earlier, but I'll bring it up today at this call too. Um, but yeah, that whole thing was a hot mess earlier this week. It was like, okay, and then she turned around talking about how she don't need. Oh, I don't need no man to be happy. And I'm like, girl, Ridge was. Unfortunately, I gotta tell you that Ridge was the one that was helping her out. If she could, I mean, he could have left you on the floor while you were eavesdropping, listening to him talk to his girlfriend.
Same way she was eavesdropping, listening to them in Monte Carlo, and then made a phone call to Steffi saying, like, oh, I'm ready to come home now.
Mm-hmm. So,
But she don't need a man.
right. Now, my thing is, a lot is going to say what happens after this point. So, if you're fine, and she told Steffi this week too, and Steffi, of course, is worried, which I think either she's going to be on the defense with Brooke or try to push her dad to get closer to her mom. Who knows? I'm just speculating. But is Taylor now going to back off? Is she? Because I mean, she's supposed to be on the upswing now. You don't need Ridge hanging around you unless it's a family situation with your kids, and they grown anyway. And Thomas ain't even there, so.
Yeah, I do not put it past Taylor because before she passed out at a Force of Creation, she was still grabbing at her heart. She hates seeing Rich and Brooke together. She's not
Mm-hmm.
over this man by
No,
any means.
no, she's not being honest. Mm-mm. And I just hate the fact that the writers are bringing us right back into another triangle.
And there's other available men on the show that they could have put her with at this point in juncture, but it's okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, we got to suffer through this. And I mean, we did see a conversation also earlier this week after the meeting that they had. No, 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 no. Let me think. Back it up, back it up. No, after coming off of last Friday, the 11th, where they had shared their kiss. Steffi walked in, thought she caught them. And when Carter had left, that conversation between Hope And Steffi, she was talking about, but he loves my mom, but he's in a relationship with my mom. And I mean, I understand that he would always love your mom, but he's with my mom. And it's like, y'all, how old are y'all?
Right. Like, I can see Elizabeth saying all of this,
Right.
but not this 30-something-year-old woman with 2 kids.
Now, I got to give them credit for the fact that they said that they moved away from Liam and how their moms, they need to set example for their mom. Now, I do agree with that because it's like if Steffi then moved on with Finn and obviously, hoped and moved on from Liam from what we saw, which we also got to talk about that PowerPoint presentation as you call it. Yeah, why can't they remove that triangle between Brooke, Ridge, and Taylor? Why did you bring a new Taylor back? Create this whole situation with her heart. Now she might be better after doing chakra healing. And now what?
Do you think that it could be possible that they could put Taylor with Bill now, since Katie basically shut that down, any possibility of them getting together?
I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it. If Katie is, well, and we know Heather Tom is moving back behind the scenes coming up in these next several weeks. So I wouldn't mind it where they move Taylor over to Bill Spencer.
I mean, she just needs some new peen. That's what kind of upsets me about this Hope and Carter thing. I'm like, that's the last thing Hope needs. Give it to someone who is in desperation, and that would be Taylor at this point. She had a whole medical condition. A new man and getting it in will help cure that.
I agree. Let's talk about your boy Little Puke.
Oh, mine? Oh. We can just throw him back. I mean, see how none of the women on the show want this man now.
I mean, this man, after listening to his little brother give him Cupid advice to go after Hope Logan, he decides to create a whole PowerPoint presentation, like you said the other day, Bree, and include himself in the family pictures. And I'm like, if this was for her business, why are you including yourself in a family picture when technically you're divorced? Now, granted, you're co-parents, but y'all not married?
He even included a picture of her, him, and Douglas.
Exactly.
I was like, that was the ultimate disrespect. But he just happened to slip it in. He said that he had to take over this project. He couldn't let anybody else do it. It just had to come from him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I understand, sir. It's been a while since you had a woman and had some female attention, being up underneath your daddy and his couch. Like, I can understand, but he was not even thinking of Hope.
Well, according to him, he's been waiting to kiss. Remember that kiss he smashed on her face early this week? He said he's been waiting to do that for a very long time.
But see, he's been waiting to do that. He didn't specifically say he's been waiting to kiss her. He just wanted to feel some female affection. That's what I think that.
You silly. Girl, what you say? He's just been waiting to just feel some lips from somebody, huh?
Yeah, he said he's been waiting to do that. He's been waiting to kiss somebody. But this man, Hope was not on this man's radar, because he said there is absolutely no way for him to come back after she got with Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
He said he specifically said he looked at her differently. That's not the same person anymore. He does not care for her. So now he's okay with the fact that she's been sleeping with Thomas.
Girl, they really trying to rewrite this, because they was talking about the last time that we were together ages ago, and I'm like, 2023 was just last year. We talking about
Right.
ages.
And I'm like, even still, he can't find a new female, nothing
Well,
whatsoever. He just had to go back to his old faithfuls, Steffy
well,
and Hope.
what about Ivy? So Ivy shows up next week, as we saw in the promo. But how long is she gonna stick around? I'm hoping that they keep her around for a while. Then, therefore, maybe Liam might reconnect with Ivy.
She the only one who wants him
Yep,
still.
yep, I agree.
And I'm like, there you go, Leah. She wide open for you. Well, we don't know that yet particularly, but like she would be wide open for this man. She would be happy to deal with his mess
Mm-hmm.
in his PowerPoint presentations. But when she comes around, would he be whistling a different tune? Would he be thinking about Hope in that case?
Who?
Is
You
he
talking
going to
about
turn
Liam?
it? Yeah, that's what my question is for next week. Like when he sees Ivy, is he going to zero in and go for Ivy? Or is he going to stick to what he's been saying that he wants to try to patch things up with Hope?
Yeah, and I find what you said very interesting because in today's episode, when he was over at Bill's, Bill even tried to talk him out of it. And then when Bill left the Spencer office, Will was telling him, fight for her. And he was like, yeah, I'm not gonna stop here. I'm gonna continue to fight for her. And I'm like, you about to get your feelings hurt.
Yeah, and rightfully so, because he had an opportunity to make it work with Hope, but he said that he cannot bear the thought of Hope's lips on Thomas's lips and what she did after what Thomas did. Like, I mean, it's in her past. She did it. He's
Mm-hmm.
seen Hope like go around the family events with Thomas, and he knows that she's been sleeping with him because he walked in on her in the cabin with the lingerie. So, did he completely forget about all of that? He's just okay with that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just couldn't get past the fact that he said he's been waiting to do that to her for, and I know you said it was anybody's lips, but if he was referring to Hope, he is lying. When did that change? 2, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, exactly.
Because for the last year, he's been trying to get up under Steffi, get her to leave Finn. That whole thing with Sheila popped up. He tried to get her out when Sheila was thought to be the one that was doing all this with the whole thing with Tom. He was like, see, I don't know why Finn even want to deal with his mother. See what he did, see what she did to Tom and Hollis, and he was always over there trying to talk Steph down from her husband. And now all of a sudden you've been wanting to do that for a long time. You're right. Sure, Liam.
Yeah, exactly. He just wanted to feel somebody's heartbeat. That's all
Mm-hmm.
that mattered to him.
So Diane DeVille said no woman deserved that much punishment to be with Liam.
And that's what both Steffi and Hope came to realize. Steffi said, like, look, I'm good with Finn. I'm good right here. And we know Hope, she didn't had an awakening. She had an awakening before she ever cheated on Liam. She was thinking about a whole other man while they were getting it in. And then she
Mm-hmm.
decided to get with Thomas. So they are done with the punishment. And Liam used to be that guy for a whole decade.
Mm-hmm.
These girls could not get enough of saying Liam's name.
Mm-mm. Yep. Well, I'm glad that she pushed him off. She rejected him. You can tell it seemed like she didn't have any type of affection or romantic feelings in that moment for Liam. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe she might just be, for the moment, done with Liam.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
she's ready to feel something strange. She wants to feel, like a brand new woman. She wants brand new walls, like anything that you can.
You so funny.
Look, Thomas spoiled her.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas spoiled her in ways that Liam could not compare
Right.
at all. So getting with Carter, that's going to be it's going to up it like times 1,000 even more.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be kind of hard for her to want to go back to Liam.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. There was this little scene which, to me, I guess it was early in the week, that conversation between Ridge and Eric. I'm like, okay. To me, that was a filler scene. Because it's like, yeah, I mean, he went over there to explain to Eric why he was hanging out with Taylor so much. And then, of course, he knew Brooke went over there to sneak around and peep in windows and stuff. I'm like, okay, whatever. But hey, it was nice to see John McCook on screen. He got to get a paycheck too. So.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's good to see him. Good to see Eric Logan. Defending the Logan family.
Eric Logan, you are hilarious. Eric, not Eric. Listen, not Eric Forrester. Eric Logan.
Look, if he could change his last name, he would. He a proud Logan.
Mm-hmm.
Even before Donna.
Girl, that is too funny. Yeah, she said. Sharon said a whole week was a filler.
I agree with you on that. Like nothing major happened. There was like some good laughs, and especially towards the end of this week with all the simping. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was kind of a filler week without question.
Mm-hmm. All right, so now this leads us to the meeting Steffy had. Taking a look at Hope's line as we now head into the fourth quarter of the year, because when Thomas left, it was at the end of the first quarter of the year. And they gave her second quarter, they gave her third quarter. Now we're in the fourth quarter of the year, and her line is still not doing well. However, Carter decides that he wants to put his cape on and go in there and go hard in the paint, so hard in the paint that I think he was making a pitch and a proposal using his eggplant. And at the same time, Hope, as much as she enjoyed words of affirmation, obviously she was definitely, as they say, making her water. There you go.
Anytime a man says you're a beacon of light in front of Steffy, like that's going to flood, she's gonna flood the basement. She gonna like nothing but water on the floor. Because that was the key thing about this. He said all of this, for one, in front of the people in the office, but mainly in front of Steffy. That right there was going to get him the goodies without question. Liam can't even compare to that, because Liam wouldn't dare talk trash about Hope to Steffy.
I was like, that dude, and they were looking at him like, wait a minute, you've been the COO, and the last meeting that we had at the end of the second quarter going into fall, you was saying to Brooke and Hope, it's about the numbers. The numbers are saying it all. That's what Carter said back in July, August, I think it was. And now all of a sudden, because he has an interest, now, like you said, she's a beacon of light.
He said that, and when my eyes rolled, I'm like, you going way too hard. This is, Liam wouldn't even say all this, but it the fact that he said this in front of Steffy, that's what did it for Hope.
Oh yeah,
that's all she needed.
But see, here's the thing, because Steffi and Ridge was looking like, well, should we put more money in the line? And they agreed to keep the line because he made this big old speech talking about how the company will take a hit because people look at Hope for the Future as this, I don't know, he put it on a pedestal for some reason. And I'm
Right.
like, dude, if ain't nobody buying, it's not getting traction on social media. They're rejecting orders, which you've seen for the last 3 quarters. Yeah, that's why I say he's not talking with the he's talking with the wrong head.
Yeah, because he was using his other head a couple of weeks ago, and he was perfectly fine with getting rid of the line. He was
Mm-hmm.
he looked more angry at Steffi for wanting to keep the line just a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of a sudden he, wants to walk a tightrope, if you will, and now wants to probably risk his job to save her job.
Mm-hmm.
Because Steffi was not happy with that.
No.
And then she was talking with Finn. He was like, well, he usually makes sound decisions. Like, is he siding with Hope? Like, he's about the numbers and about the facts. Why is he doing this? He gonna end up risking his job
For this. I mean, not just
Yeah.
this, for this situation that he's putting himself in. So they decide, of course, they all excited. They want to celebrate because her line is saved. So he asked her to go back to his apartment. And I was like, okay, this is the Friday, October 18th spoiler. And I'm like, oh, they get a romantic evening. And you know, I was looking to see what they were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And they went over to his apartment early in the episode, but they started talking about Liam. And I'm like, why are we talking about Liam?
Right. They walked in, they talked about Liam, and once again, Carter was still feeding her ego. It's like, you don't need to go back to your ex. Like, you need to try something new, something different. And then they proceed to tear each other's clothes off.
Well,
So,
let's back up a little bit because Carter claims that back in Rome in 2023,
oh, right.
he was talking about how beautiful she was and I admired you and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, dude, you were with Katie at the time.
Her auntie.
Her auntie. And I'm like, writers, that was a horrible flaw.
Yes. Because when was he thinking about this woman?
Mm-hmm.
He was wrapped up with Katie. On top of that, we talked about it a little bit too. This man was focused on getting Ridge and Brooke together while he was in Rome.
Correct.
That's where that whole keyhole situation, like how Ridge was like holding up the line and Carter was like trying to talk to the people about like, hey, I apologize, this is my friend. He's captivated by something. And he was talking to Brooke about like, oh, Ridge loves you. That was his scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing to do with Hope at all.
Now, I gotta ask you this, and I kind of brought this up in the group chat, and I talked about it on my live earlier today. They re-edit the heck out of that Rome scene because that Rome scene with her in that dress was focused around Thomas and Hope. And
yes.
Then, so you saw what I was talking about when I left that message in that chat.
And they didn't edit it 100% because there's still some things where you see Tom.
The back of his head or his shoulder or something.
Right. And I'm like, even still, Rome was centered around Thope.
Right.
So the fact that they went above and beyond to edit out Thomas so they can try to pivot to this storyline between Hope and Carter, I did not understand that. Like the fans know that it was centered around Hope and Thomas.
Right. Well,
And
what's the term they use now, Bree? They decentered Thomas.
yeah, that makes me nervous
Right.
because I want Thomas back. Um, but it was obvious. Like, if anyone hasn't really looked at the details of that episode, like, go back to that particular scene. I think it's towards the end of Friday's episode. You can see the edits.
Yeah.
It's like they try, but
I
like
don't even
90%.
remember, Bree. Do you even remember Carter even being there at that photo shoot?
I do, but
Okay.
it was literally for a split second. I think he only had like two cutaway scenes, and that was it.
Girl, they really, I was like, what are you trying to tell us? Are y'all trying to erase Thomas from this? Dope was a integral part of the summer storyline of 2023, one of the biggest storylines across all of the soaps last year. And you go back and you edit out the Rome situation by putting Carter as the focal point, even though he was supposed to be dating Katie at the time.
He was dating Katie.
Right.
But his focus when he was in Rome, I think he even said it before they went to Rome that he was going to help try to get Ridge and Brooke together.
Right.
That was his main purpose of going to Rome.
Mm-hmm.
It had nothing to do with Hope. But they're definitely minimizing, and we talked about it a little bit as far as the credits too. Like, I don't know what's going on with Thomas. Like, they only showed like one picture of Thomas in the credits.
Yeah, that is weird.
And they removed Diamond White, who plays Paris, from the credits.
Unless she's on recurring status, but man, that whole thing, I said, y'all are really trying to get Dope out of the minds of the fans in order to do that much work to put decenter Thomas and to center Carter being mesmerized by Hope in that dress in Rome back in 2023. Oh, okay.
Exactly, Black Pinky. We're not going to forget about Thomas, so don't try it. Don't try it, right? They spoiled us with all of those. There were actual love scenes between those two. Hot love scenes. Like, why would we forget about that? There's not enough editing in the world.
Mm-hmm. Girl, I knew you would pick it up, Brie, when you saw the episode after we were talking about it. I was just like, wow, okay, if that's what y'all want to do, y'all really trying to rewrite history. Carter's history. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was going to say it was just random that they picked Rome as the center point for Carter's feelings for Hope.
They didn't even have to go back that far, Bree. They could have went after we found out that that Katie and Carter broke up, which was late spring. I think it was somewhere around May, because that's when Poppy was really, deep into moving in with Bill, and she was rather being focused over there. Why didn't you start him having some feelings at that point? Even from May through mid-September, Hope was nowhere on Carter's radar at all.
Nope. And she wasn't on his.
Exactly. She was thinking about Finn the same day Carter came up in their room telling her he wanted to see her in underwear.
Yeah. And I'm like, has it been a while? And that makes me wonder, when did he and Katie really break up? To where he just feels comfortable telling her niece that he was thinking about her in lingerie.
Well, that whole thing in Rome happened at the end of June, early July, because the awakening was the week of July 10th. So, yeah, because I was in Ohio when that whole Rome thing happened, because I was editing the crap out of videos for Instagram and stuff like that. So I think it was like either the 3rd or 4th week of June. They were still together, because that whole thing where Bill was trying to get with Brooke, and then that didn't work. And then he tried to get with Katie, and Katie was like, nope. She decided to have Carter pick her up at the house. That was in early spring of 2023.
And that summer too, we got a love scene with
Correct.
Katie and Carter.
Yep.
So he was thinking about Hope while he was with Katie. Is that what we're supposed to be assuming now?
That's what I was talking about this earlier today. Because I'm like, y'all screwed up. We're not stupid. You mean it? And then the thing is, if you were thinking about her so much, she wasn't on your radar in 2024.
It was just a couple weeks ago.
It was a couple weeks ago when that whole spoiler came out in early September that, Hope got a new man coming. We figured it was either Carter or Zende, but when I did the standalone video, I pointed it to Carter, which was correct. However, we had no indication prior to September and after Katie and him broke up in the spring that he was even remotely thinking about Hope. And now you want us to believe that he was thinking about her in 2023. Get out of here.
He was ready to cancel her line just a few weeks ago.
Now, here's the thing. Because now people, I'm not the only one that peeped that. So now you got people on social media calling him creepy. And I'm like, here we go again.
Yeah, they've been saying,
they've been saying other horrible things too.
Yeah, I did not want this for Carter at all. But they were saying that he was creepy, like, I don't want to bring that other stuff up, but for one, I did not want him to get with another Logan. I wanted him because this girl right here, she don't know what she wants. She don't know if she wants a relationship, whatever. If he's just looking to try to hook up with somebody, he feels that Hope is easy. I mean, clearly she is. Then, okay, more power to him. But when I saw the stuff on social media, I'm like, and there's a lot of fans who don't want this for Carter at all. They want him to be in a real relationship.
Which now brings us back to what you were talking about a little while ago about the fact that she was trying to rip his clothes off and all this, and then she said, stop. She can't do this. And he talking about, well, we could. He was ready to go.
He was perfectly fine with inviting her to his house. Actually smart. Because Liam could have popped up on the cabin.
Or Hope.
Plus out. Yeah,
or Hope. Or Steffy if they was in that office.
Right. Exactly. So, like, I understand his point. He wants to try to get it in. And good for him. I just don't want this to turn into a relationship. But I feel we're going to get a lot of teasing. Because I honestly feel there's not going to be a love scene on Monday.
Oh, I really think they're going to fake us out, huh?
Yes. Okay. I mean, they've been faking us out with love scenes in general.
That is true.
I mean, Steffy was in a whole schoolgirl uniform and nothing happened.
Yeah.
And then Steffy was in the office and her man had his whole shirt off and they were kissing and touching. And he wanted to get it in. She didn't want to. Once again, more teasing coming from the writers and producers.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, Young and the Restless is just as bad, too. We get where they start making out and then they fall on the bed and then we get a commercial and then they're done or it's the next day.
Yeah. I mean, the only intimacy that we saw this week was Rich and Taylor.
Right.
Pelvis to pelvis. And that's about it.
That's it. Oh man, girl, it's just I don't know what y'all do unless it's something going on with people's contracts or something behind the scenes, and they said, yeah, we can't do like we used to do. Then there's nothing we gonna be able to do about it. So sucks.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get my hopes up for a love scene. If there is, I'll be pleasantly surprised. I'd rather have low expectations and then get rewarded in the end than having high expectations and be disappointed.
Right, I agree. You might be right, Bree. We get up there and be like, want, want. Or they go
Yeah.
upstairs and then we go to commercial and then they just talking.
Exactly. Like the fact that we saw in the previews that they're still talking, I'm like, okay, so they really not about to do anything on Monday.
Yeah, and the thing is, I say y'all really dragging this because, like I said early in today's episode, when Carter said, "Why don't we go back to my place?" I'm like, okay, and it's like what, maybe 8 to 10 minutes after the show started, so we still got another 20 minutes per se. Please, we got to the last 2 minutes of that episode, and Hope was like, "No, let's just stop." I'm like, okay, whatever, y'all.
Teasing.
Teasing.
Like, and we're grown people. We don't have time for the teasing.
Yeah. They spoiled us with Dope last year. Oh my God, that was amazing. By Annika and J Matt.
I really want to know what happened in 2024 because everything is just watered down on both shows. They're not giving us nothing. I think the last love scene was on Y&R was Adam and Chelsea. And the last love scene was Hope and Thomas in February when they were getting it in on the couch.
Yep. I mean, even in the past few weeks, I would say with Young and the Restless, it was something. What I was. Oh, that daydream with Sharon and Nick and Cameron interrupted. I'm like, Sharon and Nick on the couch? And then Cameron interrupted. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I really don't understand what changed in 2024. Like, it sucks. Like, as soon as Thomas left, as soon as Matt Atkinson left, like, everything just went down a hill. Like, he took all the good love scenes with him, too, and that's so unfortunate.
And I mean, we did get Abby and Devon the beginning of 2023 when they were all over his penthouse. But that was few and far in between. After that, we didn't get anything else until we got chances. Well, no, we did get a lot of Kyle and Audra.
Kyle and Audra. Then we got Victoria and Nate.
Correct, so, we did.
So there was, and actually Audra and Tucker. And yeah, so there was definitely some love scenes on Y&R.
Well, that goes back to your statement, Bree, which is what happened in 2024.
Yeah.
Because last year we did get some stuff from Y&R last year, and we got Dope last year for Bold.
Yeah, something has changed on both shows, and I am praying. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I don't know if I have to do like a happy day or something. Don't do this on the gates. We need love scenes. Like, please. Writers, producers, CBS, we know y'all listen. Please.
Now, Jenna said, she said, I think a lot of the fans thought that the dope scenes, sex scenes, was too much.
It was plentiful for me.
Yeah, I had no problem with it.
That's actually a good question. Like, did you guys have an issue with the dope scenes?
Okay, let's ask. We're going to poll the chat. If you had a problem with the dope scenes or bedroom scenes, put a 1 in the chat. If you absolutely love the dope scenes, drop a 2 in the chat. And I'm going to start it off. I'm going to drop a 2. I'm going to drop 2, 2 to 2 to 2. Let's see what they say. So 1 if you did not like the dope scenes, 2 if you do like the dope scenes. Let me see. Y'all ain't saying nothing? Okay, maybe it's a delay. Let's see.
See, they're saying choose.
Ooh, daycare with the kids. Put a 1 in the chat.
Okay. Cynthia said 2, 3.
Gail got 1.5.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Of course, Jenna said, please go back and read what I said. Read the rest of what I said. What did you say, girl? The dope stuff was a bit more than a lot of people wanted to watch.
Okay, she's saying it's not us, it's other people. Groups of fans.
That's crazy because, well, I ain't gonna say that's crazy. Everybody's entitled to what they like and don't like, so I can't tell another person what to like. But, I mean, from what I had been seeing is that a lot of people was excited about it. We had started getting more viewers, and non-soap viewers were watching this couple too.
Oh, Angela Atkins said 1, and D. Spencer said his wife has said 1.
His wife? Okay. Whose wife?
Okay. D. Spencer.
Oh, his wife. Oh, Matt Atkinson wife will say 1.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good point. I mean, but at the same time, like,
a lot of these folks are married. I mean, Torsten's married. Who else is married? John McCook is married. Scott Clifton was, but he has a whole new girlfriend now. Annika's in a relationship. She's been in a relationship since early last year.
And nothing's stopping Jacqueline.
Yeah, Jacqueline know how to compartmentalize. She can be with her on-screen husband, Finn, and then she can go home to, I think his name is Elon
or something like that.
Yeah, she can go home to her husband, Elon, and her 4 sons.
But even still, soaps have been around for decades. This is the bread and butter.
That is true. Tanner is married. Tanner Novlin is married too.
And it didn't stop his gravy train either. He had kids while he's been on the show.
Yeah, so I don't know. And I mean, I don't think it's Matt Atkinson's wife. His wife is an actress too.
Yeah, so and plus they got a baby on it. Well, the baby should be here in a couple of weeks, actually.
I mean, today is what, because I knew she was due in October, so she should be ready to, deliver.
Yeah, so we'll hopefully get some announcement news with that. But majority of these people, they know what they're signing up for with this job.
Mm-hmm.
So and the thing is, this is daytime. If they were to go to a movie set, more than likely they would have to do a love scene.
Yeah, and I know it's got to be hard. I mean, even Lawrence St. Victor, he's married.
With 4 kids.
No, I'm talking about Carter. Carter
got
that's 1 son. I thought he only has 1 son.
I think he had a few kids. I thought he did, but I mean, let me see if I can pull him up.
I thought he only had the 1 son and his wife. That's it.
Let me see. Victor. This man, I thought he had more kids than that. And I'm trying to pull it up while I'm on the phone, but I can't do it. But they know what they're signing up for, y'all. Mm-hmm. And plus some of these people have been on soaps for decades. Mm-hmm. Like,
even Bill Spencer, Don Diamond is married and him and his wife, between 2 of them, got 7 kids, 7 sons.
Sheesh. I love how I pulled up and him up on Instagram, and I see nothing but him and Katie together.
Oh Lord, it's probably yeah. But as all I know, he always take a picture with his wife and his one son.
Okay, I might got it wrong, but either way, me and him married with kids. This man is perfectly fine with going back home to his reality and then flipping a switch to do his acting like all of them do. Daytime, for the most part, is the bread and butter, is the love scenes, the romance, and then you got mysteries, and like this is why a lot of us watch it.
Wait a minute, but D. Spencer said, I keep saying Thope was a bit much for what? For something his wife, some BEW wife to handle. I don't know. I don't know if Brittany had an issue because Brittany is an actress herself. Right. She obviously know what that world looked like because she's an actress. And even still, it shouldn't affect the other actors from having love scenes on the show. Mm-hmm. So it's I don't know. It's just strange how 2024 they stopped it on all the shows. Even like if we go back to YNR, like Audra, she was getting it in all of 2023, and then now we get like half scenes where she's talking about the love scenes the following day. Talking about the afterglow and stuff like that, so. Yes. Okay. Sandra said he has one child. Mm-hmm. I thought he had more than one child. Who am I thinking of? Mm-hmm. Don't come to mind. Like Joshua Marrow. He got kids. A bunch of kids. We got one of his kids on B&B. Mm-hmm. Like, this is just the bread and butter of the show. I don't understand why. I just know they better not do this on the gates. Do not do this on the gates. All I know, give us some roasting. They need to get at least, and I don't, like I say, maybe some things that we don't know. I mean, we're in a different time period now in 2024. A lot of stuff that, because they used to show grape in some of the soaps back in the day. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, they cannot do that, and I'm definitely not advocating for that to be on screen. But I'm wondering, is it getting to a point that for daytime, now prime time is a different story, but for daytime, as the people, I don't know, maybe they're thinking it's a little too much. Maybe Thope was like, for us, it was awesome. But maybe for other folks, they had a big issue with it. I don't know. I mean, I told you guys before that there was like people who were petitioning since 2020 that they don't want any love scenes. Like they said, it takes over the show too much. And I'm like... But that's what the soaps have been about for 50 years. What are you talking about? But I mean, everybody got their own taste. I get absolutely. But and I was telling the same, because I think I had this conversation in the midday chat earlier this week about the same thing, and I remember, because it was always some steamy scenes. My mom did not want us to watch soaps when we were like single digits. She was like, no, you can't watch that, And all, of course, people that was older than her during that silent generation, because at the silent generation at that time were probably in their 50s back at that time, in the 1970s and 80s. And so they were definitely watching it. Everybody, the older folks were watching. I had to go see my stories. That's what they used to call them, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had to watch the stories. And so when it came to me and my younger sister, my mom was like, no, you can't watch that, blah, 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 because there was so much steamy stuff on the soaps. But now, all of a sudden, it's a problem in 2024. They realize that most of, like, regular television Okay, wait a minute. Look at Jenna. Bree, you there? I can't hear you if you're not there. I can't hear you. Okay, well, Jenna said, remember soaps being about romance, but not just raw. That's a good point. Maybe it's a little too risque now. Bree talk about real Andrews coming to the gates, leaving. Hold on. Maybe she'll come back. She probably got. Let's see. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let me see if I can get her back. Let's see. But censorship didn't allow love scenes to be as graphic as the soap scenes on daytime TV. Ah, okay. Yeah, something happened with her phone. I don't know if it's her signal or something like that. Okay, Bree?
Yeah, I was about to say. Can you
Girl,
hear me?
yeah, I can hear you now. You're back.
Okay, what just happened?
I don't know. You was talking and then you started having like signal issues, like you were getting kind of cut off or something. So I don't know what that was. And then you just dropped. So you're back now. We're good. But a lot of people in the chat, I was reading some of the comments. A lot of people are having issues with how raw the scenes were with Dope.
How raw the scenes are?
Like, and I gotta say, it gave me a lot of footage last year to play with. So we got scenes in last summer where we actually had Hope riding on top of him and grabbing the headboards and stuff. Like, now for us, we didn't have a problem with that. But for other people, now of course you didn't see, like rated R or NR or anything like that, where anatomical parts were being shown. But I guess it kind of pushed the envelope, I guess, when you think about it. I mean, like I said, I ain't had no problem with it. But for some folks, maybe it was like, whoa. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I honestly feel it's no different than what we've been seeing for years. Because there's like scenes I can think of now, especially when since we brought up like Phyllis and Nick for the anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
They had a lot of scenes together. And what we had Abby and Devon. There was hot scenes with Victoria and all of her lovers. Like I don't know. For me, it's no different.
Well, I got people saying that we need to. I'm looking at some of these comments, and they're saying, it was too graphic, but I loved it. Some folks saying that we need to stick to the love and not the raw. So hey, Jenna said this is a soap opera, not Bridgerton. That's Jenna. Jenna is hilarious. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I say, T. They don't rate it anymore. Yeah, so maybe for us it was okay. Look at Jenna. Jenna said we didn't see that kind of sex when I was in high school. But okay, I'm thinking about all of the dope scenes that I can remember. That whole awakening week of July 10th, they was in bed for four TV days. Oh man, what is going on with her phone? Girl, what's going on with your phone?
It just completely dropped me.
I don't know. Maybe
and my hands are not touching my phone.
Meta have been acting real squirrely the last couple of days, so that's probably, who knows what's going on.
And I think CBS is tired of us talking about love scenes.
Sharon say, I'm 74. I look forward to watching Hot at this point.
I mean, I guess to each his own. it's just kind of pointless for them to allude to something and it's just really just a tease. That's why I feel like when they said that it's going to be like hot and spicy between Hope and Carter, I honestly feel it's going to be a big old tease.
Yeah, well, we'll see, girl. I mean, can they go back to... Man, we get to see Carter in abs. Can we get to at least see him in the sheets or something?
I just want to see. I love the Carter that was putting women up against the wall.
Right. When he had Quinn up against the wall.
That was, I was like, ooh, okay.
Yeah. So.
And how many years ago was that? Like a couple years ago?
Early 2022.
See, that wasn't that long ago. Like, and that was hot and spicy. I just like for something to be hot and exciting, just to watch and just, you know, it's those scenes that kind of get people, you know, anticipating what's going to happen next, and we root for certain couples that way. Yeah, exactly, Jen. Quinn and Carter were hot.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were. Man. She said, Melissa said, I'm 55, live alone with my cat. Love scenes are all I have to look forward to.
Oh, see, exactly. Like some people, I can understand some people, you know, want to tone down, but there's some people who want you to turn it all the way up.
Yeah, Sandy, like, we adults.
Yes. And like daytime comes, you know, the kids are in school. Like,
girl,
kids and grandkids are in school. I don't know. I'm just curious to see if this is what it's like in 2024. What's going to happen in 2025? It might be non-existent.
Well, I just hope they don't make the Beyond the Gates a bore.
Yeah, and that starts the first week of January. So that makes me worried.
I know. We'll see what they do on Monday with Carter and Hope, you know. But, all right, did we cover everything?
Yeah, I think we did.
All right, so we got to do our... I guess I'm going to have to check in with that special guest. She probably had something else come up. So, sorry about that, you guys.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay, you know. We tried. All right. So we have our flip the script and who's taking several seats, star of the week, pickle of the week. So what you got for the flip the script for Weinar?
The flip for me, I wish that I would say Billy. I wish Billy just came clean about what Lily did.
I do too. That's a good one. I wish that was the case as well.
And then another flip, he just cut the TV off.
Oh, with Jill.
He just cut the TV off. Like she's not going to go to Genoa City anytime soon. They said for Abby's wedding, and I'll be like, okay, we'll see. She ain't been in Genoa City in how many years?
Yeah, exactly. But she coming to their wedding though.
Yeah, we shall see.
My flip would have been, I would hope that whole scene is staged for the benefit of putting Victor in a false state of security, a false sense of security, you know, because he's thinking he's winning. But if they actually was truly staging this for the benefit of trying to come up with a sneak attack, that's how I would flip it. I would rather have it being staged.
Yes, I'm good with that too.
All right, what you got for bold?
I wish Taylor would have told Brooke, like, yeah, your man came over, he wanted to help me out, and it definitely helped me out in more ways than you can realize.
Oh Lord, girl, you so crazy.
I mean, he had insecurity.
Girl, I would have flipped the whole thing with Liam. Now, granted, she rejected him, but she should have said, "Don't you ever do that again. I didn't ask you to kiss me. You just came over there and laid your lips on me." He did the same
Right.
thing to Steffi those 2 times.
Exactly. He feels he has these women in his back pocket. He's not that guy from 10 years ago.
Yeah. I would have been like, "Don't you ever do that again. I didn't ask for a kiss, nor did I give you any indication that I wanted one. Don't come put your lips on me, man. What's wrong with you?"
Mm-mm-mm.
All right, who's taking seats on The Young and the Restless?
Lily.
Yes, Lily, Audra.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot.
I would. Lily, Audra.
Diane.
And oh my goodness. Diane need to be on her own island. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are the three, without question.
Bold.
I'm going to put Brooke and Liam in a seat.
Yeah,
because Brooke is on my nerves. Like this. Since you're insecure behind down at the therapist office, and Liam, he needs to sit and stay at work. I was happy to see him at Spencer Publications. Stay at work.
You know what? I'm going to give Will his first seat since he's been on the show, because he was the one that gave Liam that stupid idea to go back after Hope in the first place, because Liam wasn't even thinking about Hope.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, he got his first seat. Yay.
Like, Will, why did you want him to go back over there with Hope? Why? Anyway.
Yeah, that was pointless.
Who's your star of the week?
I am going to give it to Michelle Stafford.
Yay. Okay, I agree. I can agree with you on that one. Give her 30th anniversary star this week.
Like, I really enjoyed the episode. I'm going to go back and watch it again. I was so happy for her.
Okay. Who's your star on Young and on Bold?
Spencer Publications.
I was thinking the same thing.
It was so nice to see The Office for once.
Girl, you took that. I was like, I'm going to wait till Brie get done. I'm going to say the Spencer Office. And you was like, Spencer Publications. I totally agree with that, because we haven't seen the Spencer Office in a long time.
Since Wyatt.
We haven't seen it since Wyatt. Wyatt been gone for a while, too. That was last fall, wasn't it? Or early spring? I mean, like January, February.
I believe, it was January, February, because Wyatt gave RJ the house.
Oh, that's right. Yep. That was in February. During that whole February sweeps. That was 3 weeks of RJ and Luna.
Yep. It sure was.
But it was nice to see The Office, because both Bill have been taking calls from home, and Liam, who I guess was working.
See, we can't even feel confident in that at all.
I've been trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. You were always saying that he wasn't working. He was always over at Forrester, at Steffi's house, and everywhere else but over here at Spencer.
Yeah. Let's hope that they keep Spencer Publications around.
I guess, girl. It would be nice. It would be nice. Okay, and pickle of the week. Young.
I'm gonna give it to Jill. Like, you put that power, you gave that man that power. Let him just run the company.
Oh, I'm gonna give 2 pickles out. One to Audra and one to Lily, because it's just not. Why are you doing this?
Yeah. Pitiful. The pitiful twins.
Oh, you might as well give Michael one too, because he looks pathetic.
Oh my goodness, I almost forgot about Michael. Yeah. By all means. Let him just, oof.
Yeah.
It's more than the Victor's giving him. He ain't gonna get his job back.
Mm-hmm. And then Bold.
give it to Carter simping.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing a little too much, and I'm like, sir, you don't want to lose your job.
Girl, I'm gonna give one to Brooke because she definitely wanted a pickle.
she wanted she wanted what Taylor had, and I'm like, girl, you've been in that position how many times in your lifetime? Stop. That is nothing brand new.
Right. I'm talking about how was it? Was it being with Taylor like being with me in this position? Girl, what
but you're not insecure.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, take the pickle. You wanted ridges, so you got it. Now shut up and be quiet and go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, we be tripping over here.
Yeah.
All right. You got anything else, girl?
No, I'm just you guys watch Monday's episode of YNR is a really good one. I'm like I said, I'm not gonna have high hopes when it comes to Hope and Carter, but like I said, I will be happy if I'm just if I'm completely wrong and they give us a love scene. But I don't know, y'all.
Yeah.
But have a good weekend.
Yeah, we gotta see. All right, we will do. I will give Trish your wishes and love. I did, like I mentioned to the midday chat. I did get in contact with her, and she said that she's still trying to deal with everything, and that I think they were doing his celebration of life this week, even though they had already did the services a couple weeks back, 2 or 3 weeks back, I think. So she's still trying to, deal with everything. So, I would definitely pass, your well wishes on to her.
Yeah.
And, just so you know, we almost had, because I know people was like wondering who we were going to have. Keisha was going to try to pop on tonight, but obviously, she couldn't. So, and that's to be expected. She got a lot going on. So, we was hoping to have her pop in and, get a chance to chat with you guys. So that was going to be the little surprise. But yeah, she got a lot going on. So
it was just me and you.
Yep, we're good. We're good. We're holding it down, and then you're not going to be here the week after.
It will be a week of Halloween.
Right, which is not this coming, but the following.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Apologize in advance, guys. My son is going to be having some surgery. So I'll be kind of zeroed in and focused on him. He has surgery on Halloween. So I will be taking care of him. But I know T's going to hold it down for y'all.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to send prayers and well wishes to you as well, ma'am.
Oh, thank you. I'm keeping my fingers crossed and praying he's going to be fine because it's his third surgery that he's had, and he'll be 4 in December. So he's very short life with some surgeries in his life.
Aww.
So, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and stay tuned for the spoilers for the week of the 21st through the 25th. And until next time, we will see you guys later. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all. Have a good weekend.